Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Instant True Crime Media. I'm your host, Ball, and today we'll be going over the not guilty verdict of a man who threw in a foot long sandwich at a judge and got charged for assault. All right, it's crazy to say this is a true story that happened in DC, and we're gonna get into it. But before we get into the story, let's get to the formalities. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video so we can just show the world of all the madness and goofiness that goes on in this world. All right, without further ado, let's go to work.
Not guilty verdict in the case of the so-called D.C. sandwich guy. Sean Dunn had been accused of throwing a sandwich at a Border Patrol agent during the federal law enforcement surge here in Washington over the summer. The moment went viral, as you remember, but the officer wasn't hurt, and jurors now say the federal charges didn't even meet the moment. Dunn had this to say after the verdict.
Opened their hearts and homes to me. I am eternally grateful. And I am so happy that justice prevails in spite of everything happening. And that night, I believe that I was protecting the rights of immigrants.
Joining me now, Washington managing editor Catherine Falters, also our legal contributor, Shauna Lloyd. So, Catherine, what more do we know?
Well, we knew that Sean Dunn obviously was in court. The jury was deliberating through yesterday and into today, and they found him not guilty. Now, not guilty of course, causing any bodily harm to the officer, that agent who he threw the sandwich at. Now, we heard testimony from that agent, from that officer, just yesterday or the day before, where he took the stand describing the incident of the sandwich hitting him. He said the sandwich hit him and exploded on him, and that he felt the impact of the sandwich, but that it didn't hurt him. Now, we do know that throughout the course of jury deliberations, they did ask for the definition of bodily harm. What does that exactly mean? That's what the jury was considering here. Did that sandwich that hit the officer physically hurt the officer? We heard the officer's testimony. He said it didn't hurt him, so that obviously factored in to their decision here today. You saw him speak there afterwards, obviously in court. He said he's relieved and looked forward to moving on with his life.
I'm not going to lie. It's very hard to do this entire segment with a straight face. Shauna, what do you make of the jury's decision here?
The jury's decision is legally sound because the charge we're talking about requires the officer to have believed that they were in imminent harm or that the ability to harm him was there. And when we talk about this injury, when we look at a sandwich, he was able to see the sandwich. They're in close proximity. It's wrapped. Hitting at someone with a sandwich isn't causing an injury, nor could you believe that you were going to be injured. So the verdict is very consistent. And this is why we have a grand jury process, right? The grand jury even rejected charges associated with this because I think it just does not meet the criminal standard.
Now I done seen and heard a lot of things, a lot of things, but assault by sandwich, it definitely a new one to me. I know that the judge he must been really ticked off. And I wonder, like, what kind of sandwich was it? Like, I wonder, like, because even though I'm not getting paid for mentioning, like, I wouldn't throw no Jersey Mike. I'd probably throw a Subway sandwich at somebody. But I definitely wouldn't throw a Jersey Mike. So does it go to show, man, like, sometimes these people in position like judges and stuff like that, these people, like, they can get in their feelings and hold personal grudges. But I'm glad that glad the brother was found not guilty. And I just really think it's just a silly, goofy, case. It's just a waste of taxpayer dollars. Like, come on, man, assault by sandwich, man. So I wonder what kind of sandwich it was first and foremost. But other than that, I think that was rightfully so. So I don't. But a lot of what this story is missing. They don't tell you, like, what was said to what I'm saying, what exactly was said. People can assume this was said or that was said, but You know, he must have took that pretty personal, pretty personal. So it's one of them little silly, goofy stories that I thought was interesting. So I decided to share it with you guys. All right, get in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this story. And remember, the only time crime pays is on the internet. Not guilty. Signing off.